Welcome to the Hollow Points Podcast. We are glad you decided to tune into another episode where we provide an aggressively therapeutic outlet on topics that many think about but are afraid to speak on. We actually made it to season 4. This should be our best work yet, since we are finally off probation.
I want to welcome everybody back to the Hollow Points Podcast. I am MOB, and you are?
I'm the coach, Chris P.
Okay, man. I didn't know, man. I didn't know what your name was this week. So I want to start this week off with a video. So, and then just get your take on it. Okay, just kind of sweeping the web, sweeping the nation. And it's from someone respected in our community, which is a pastor. So, let's check this out, and then we'll just be right back and get your thoughts on it.
If you got to do 50-50, that means you're half of a man. Oh, they don't like, I wish I had more men here today. Because both of us got punished for when the sin came in the world. The women was to be birthing children and go through pain and go through menstrual bleeding. You can't handle that. And a man's job was to work from sun up to sundown.
So she said a lot. So obviously that's a lot. And by the reactions that, you've seen on the interweb, it's an awful lot. Now, when you said someone respected in the community, I didn't know if you was going because she's a black woman, which is highly respected in the community, or the pastor route, which is also not as much, but somewhat respected in the community. I think the energy to which she felt convicted to make that statement was very interesting. Now, what I know based
I got
on
the same. I was going the same route, so that kills me when you take my thought. But go ahead.
what I know based on what I saw was that because she was in a pulpit, she's probably a pastor. What I know for a fact is she's not a mathematician because
Is a stage and a pulpit the same thing?
yes, it can be.
So Michael
It can be.
Jackson was in a pulpit. Thank you.
He could
Carry
be.
on.
He could.
Carry on.
So with that being the case, I believe that for whatever reason, she has a position of what creates or defines a man that is based off of something so small and so singular, which is financial. And trust me, it's a lot of no good dudes that's highly financially capable. And it's a lot of bad guys, that would take advantage of that if you're a woman that allows for that. If you think about publicly high profile guys with money, and I'm just gonna say athletes, entertainers, or whatever, and I'm not picking on them at all, but they tend to cycle through the hoes at a much higher rate. And the hoes would say it's based on them abusing or mistreating or not respecting or appreciating what the hoes is bringing to the table. That's a
According to
financial.
her, there are still
Yes.
whole men. So they
Absolutely.
take care of everything.
Absolutely. So the pesos and the say-sos, you know what I'm saying, is what she's on. The fact is this. I haven't looked at what women think as it relates to her saying you're half of a man if you want to go half. But I do know that it ain't gonna be no killing without killing. We can't have a situation where you want it separate but equal, because those are two opposite terms. If we go into this in an equal union as it relates to us being together, especially a married couple, but she was just talking about relationships. But at some point in time, when you get to the point where you're combining the opportunity to share, sharing has classically been 50-50. Now, I can give you a piece of my sandwich and share some of it with you, but that's not a real relationship. We need the same amount of sandwich for our stomachs not to be grumbling. So when she said, if you need to go 50-50, now here's the situation. I know for a fact, if I could have got married whilst living in a cardboard box, I wouldn't have bought the Porsche, nor would I have bought the house. We do what we need to get the woman. So the 50-50 aspect is easy if your expectations are reasonable. You get what I'm saying? Like, here's the situation. If I got out of this situation and wanted to get into a studio, rent control studio. I got it for. I got 100% of that all day, every day. This tang, this spam, man, I got it. Yes, you absolutely right. I can make 6 figures, and we can live like I make 36,000. I got 100% of that. If your expectations is that we live like I have 7 figures, I'm gonna need some help on that. The math has to equal out. So at any point in time, she's never been to a bank and
You
talked to
said
him.
you gonna need some help. Y'all gonna need some help.
There it is. But that's the thing about two becoming one. She's a biblical practitioner. So she should know about leaving and cleaving and two becoming one. But
Right.
where she messed it up was she said that women, and I know you've talked about this in the past, the original sin and the punishment for said sin. Now, do we want to go down that path? Do you want to give your take on?
We do.
on the punishment?
But first,
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
say, do you think, or ask at least, do you think that it hurts the female or even the male community? People say things with authority makes them true. Because I think that's the first thing. She had confidence in what she was saying. So I feel like people are eating from the tree of illiteracy. They just listen to people who say stuff with confidence and believe it.
Right. I think that, well, first of all, saying it loud don't make it right.
Make it private.
A lot of people operate on the premise of pickup games at the playground. Whoever argued the longest gets the call. That's not how life works, right?
Right.
Like just give it to him. Yeah, just can't hoop, fam. So, but in the idea of the passion that she showed to that, along with the ignorance that she showed for the word, shows me that she's just a radical person. She really wasn't old enough to be spitting off that type of knowledge. Or I would love to know if she had did that in a couples dynamic where her and her partner was sitting there talking and they explained how it works. But a lot of people can fart in the elevator and walk off. She dropped the bomb, and it does. I can guarantee you, either she's unsuccessful in her relationships, or she got a dude that's so weak. Feels like if you looked at him, I wish I could see him. Because if I could see him, you would see, oh yeah, of course he let her treat him like this. Look at him.
The elders wouldn't even allow her wearing those pants.
She was doing too much movement.
Well,
she was performing though. To her credit, she was putting on a performance because she was all over this. You know, she going back and forth and pacing, and was like, "Oh, I wish I had some." And then where she messed up was when she said,
"Answer that question for me. Answer that question."
What's that?
She wished that there were more men in the church.
No,
she lying. Okay,
not men, not men.
Because once she don't want me up in there.
She does it because once again she messed it up when she defined what a man was. She defined a man was a person that take charge. Man, she didn't.
It wasn't none in there to begin with.
Absolutely. Not a real one's according to her.
One because they didn't.
That's right. That's right. Because he should have stood up for the rest of his brethren.
Yeah, he should have.
The situation is when you make blanket statement.
He could have been a simp,
but that would have made him not a real man.
Oh no, that would have made him a real man to them. Because I've heard dudes before say,
"I got you.
My wife better not pay no bill."
I got you.
In the Bible. What Bible you talking about? Oh, you've been brainwashed, son.
There was no currency in the Bible. It's you know, in that regard, you know, there's pieces of silver and this, that. But the moral of the story is, I think that people pick and choose parts of the Bible that they rock with. That's number one.
Right.
And I think that she misinterpreted the idea of the punishment. And she's using Genesis.
Hold on,
the
before
beginning.
You get to the punishment.
Okay.
What do you think of her accountability? Rated from 1 to 10. Because she didn't say nothing about the woman or nothing. She said when sin came into the world.
I like that. She glossed over who did it. She glossed over who dealt it. The issue is she's not speaking. A lot of times it ain't what you call, it's what you answer to. She's not talking to successful couples. She's not talking to productive modern relationships. She's not talking to women who are independent, forward-thinking, and team players. She's catering, just like Trump, she's catering to her base. She's catering to lazy people who feel entitled to be taken care of like daughters, not like women. She was talking to dudes that want to daughter a woman, to want to raise them up in the way in which they want them to go and tell them what to do and create rules and regulations on how you can act, talk, dress, cook, speak. Oh,
What
yeah.
I would be interested to know,
Mhm.
where does her flock hides she benefits off of? Where does that go? Because she obviously has a man who pays 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did she do with that? Did she give back to the flock?
Because of her
She did
math,
that.
because of her math being so bad,
Mhm.
I can't count on nothing mathematical with this woman. Because I think she was irresponsible for throwing out
Sure.
50% of a man when we are not that far removed from 3/4 of a human being as black people.
Then she defined what 50-50 means.
She did. She did.
So that means if you're on a basketball team, you're not even a whole player.
Yeah.
20% of a player.
I think she was trying to impress upon her own agenda. And her agenda was, I need a dude to always be doing for me. But she based it on, and I know you want me to hold on.
Go
She
ahead, go
based
ahead.
it on,
Let's go. Let's
she
go through.
based it
We
on the
got them
fact that the
questions.
way that she presents it is that the eternal punishment for men, not mankind, but for men, was to cater and support a woman 100%.
No, because you said some stuff in other previous episode. I don't know if it's catered. I think it's more of giving them more than what they deserve.
Well, again, deserved and earned is a two separate situations.
Where'd
I
they earn it?
believe
Where'd they earn it at?
they didn't. And here's the deal: you have to come into there. If that would be
Earn
the
is what you
case,
deserve.
if that would be the case, there would be no reason for women to speak at the wedding. If the only person that's creating vows to
You
do
picture
something
that?
is the man, that's probably the weddings that she do. She do the wedding where the man makes all the
I
pledges.
would not let her marry
and,
me.
and the woman is just like, I'll make, yep.
You promised to pay for all of her bills.
Do you promise to listen her, support her, encourage her, nourish her? And then she said, what do you
Are you
promise
done?
to do?
And let her
Because
use her money that she gets from her good job to
man,
get pampered and for her friends to go to brunch on Sundays. Right. That's my month of money. What else do you think about the punishment that she dealt, that she said was, first of all, I don't think she covered many punishments. I think she only covered one.
right.
And it
Right.
was
No,
separate.
she said the two. She said she did say that women supposed to have menstruations and birth babies, and she said that as a punishment, which is shameful. Shameful because it's a privilege to be a mom. It's a privilege, not a punishment, to be a mom. That's where you get it all messed up, where you dropping your kids off and still trying to run these streets once you done had a baby. It's okay to be responsible and to grow into being a mother. That is not a punishment. Shame on her for saying that as a pastor. Then she said a man's punishment was to
So let's
labor.
talk about the mother
Okay.
punishment.
Okay. Cool.
Well, you saying that, because you said ain't no killing without killing.
Yeah.
Now you saying women who choose not to have kids or can't have kids
Man.
are 0% a woman then.
Yes, because they can't fulfill their end. The dude is 100%.
That's
Yes,
the only purpose, according to
that's the only
her
purpose.
punishment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They got looked over. They got overlooked.
Mhm.
They got overlooked in the written when it was written.
Or they didn't get punished.
And they
Or
will
have
tell
punished.
you women who having this in vitro and all this other thing, that it comes off as a punishment to them that they can't bear children. It's just when you start putting children into the situation, that's a touchy subject for a lot of people. And so I think that she was very, very aggressively wrong in casting it that way. That's number one.
Yeah,
Saying it
yeah.
was a punishment
I
to go
agree.
through, because you do need cycles and all these other things in order to produce a baby. That's part of the process. But to say that that's a punishment, it may be an inconvenience. It may be an inconvenience, but there's a lot of inconveniences that both sexes go through as it comes. Your voice changing and your hair growing, and that can be an inconvenience. Cutting your hair all the time is an inconvenience. Like this, there are
Yeah.
inconveniences that exist. The other thing was sticking with the woman when she says that Eve's choice, what Eve started, created a punishment for men. Let's stick with Eve. So a woman was the one who begat the original sin and the original punishment, which the punishment is not the menstrual cycles and the birthing babies. The punishment is the knowledge of good and evil and the stress that it causes on your lifespan. Understanding the ramifications of sin and things of that nature. Having the veil lifted was the punishment. I wish she had read that and knew that was the actual punishment.
She
The
didn't
other
read the other punishments. Another punishment was the woman would desire for the husband, but he would rule over thee. So the woman would want to tell the man what to do, but he'll rule over thee, and it's going to frustrate them is the issue. So
Absolutely.
if a man says we going 50-50 in this house, that's the rule.
That's the rule.
And of
He
course
has
you're
ruled over thee.
frustrated, and
He-
you're preaching your frustrations. You're
Absolutely.
still being punished.
Absolutely. She's not obedient. And then of course the last punishment was being exiled from the garden. And they both were equally. He didn't have to leave 100% of the garden. Yeah, both of them had to be out together, same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Tucker style.
Yeah.
So that was very, I think, irresponsible. That was very irresponsible. But then when she said the man's punishment was to labor all day or from sun up to sundown or however she put it.
Let's talk about sun up to sundown.
Then now you saying that a laboring man that labors with his hands, the sweat of his brow, like my man Tony say, is a better man or a more qualified man than a thinking man. There's a quote that says, the eyes of a master will do twice as much work as his hands. Meaning, if you can think through stuff, measure twice, cut once. But when you talk about laboring sun up to sundown, you're talking about actually going out there and tilling the soil and doing something. Those dudes that can fix things and put their hands on stuff ain't better dudes than the corporate dudes. And I'm not saying they worse or better, but the idea of you're painting a picture that if I don't come home sweaty and tired and hand my check to you, I'm not a whole man. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So I do think most people don't understand the sweat, the brow. Having to think real hard all day is the sweat, but I don't think that they would see that because they don't see
Right.
the beads dripping down.
Right. Absolutely.
So you got to know
Absolutely.
your congregation and know their intellectual level to even touch on that subject. Because when you say sun up to sundown, that's very clear.
Very clear.
And then you have problems with that. Some of the problems is daylight saving time. Right?
Modern problem with that is that you generate or create an absentee father. So let me give you what,
Yeah.
let me tell you what she's saying.
Yeah.
She's saying that you go to work and you kill them for the OT and you work there 12 to 16. Well, if you work in your 12 to 16 hours and you have children and you have to get 6 hours of sleep, 16 and 6 is 22. Them 2 hours with them kids is not raising a child. So you can't say we need black men in a home and active and supportive and engaged, and he has to be at work. And he has to give up the money and the control of where the money goes to me because I should need for nothing, want for nothing. Well, that's a level of self-sufficiency that you've missed out on. There was no reason, if I'm a girl dad, there's no reason to even train my daughters to be self-sufficient,
Go to
independent, or
college.
able.
What you
Man,
going to
don't
college
do
for?
any of it. You're doing it wrong, according to her. You hustling in reverse. You need to get a dude that sponsors all these things, so therefore you don't even have to worry about that. All of that is going to be taken care of on the front end by him, and that's not the message that we want to send to the modern woman.
Forget about the quality time, the relationships, and going out on dates. You got time for that.
Right. Absolutely.
Sun
She's
goes
got to get
up and down every day. So that's weekends too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That she gonna go back to rest on the 7th day, but that's still 6 days a week. You don't feel like doing that extra.
What she didn't touch on, which has become of epidemic proportions, is the concept of these women and this bag. Bag. Man, this idea of the bag, and they're not trying to raise strong black communities or strong black children. They are trying to get thumbs ups and likes for getting the bag. So I mess around with this dude that's got money so he can then invest in child support and I can get the bag, not support the child. It's about me.
People don't
Presenting.
understand how deep Miss Erica Badu was. Said,
That was his
bag lady,
Yeah.
I miss your bus. You got too much stuff.
Stuff.
They don't
That's right.
understand that.
That's right.
But chasing that
That's right.
bag, you really gonna miss your true happiness, your true building together, your true love. It's what they say they want, right?
Absolutely.
Or-
Well, here's the situation, and it says in the Bible, it's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. So you putting a priority on the bag. Now, what they'll counter with is, well, you need money to survive. You need air, water, food, shelter. How opulent those things are is relative.
Hmm.
And there's no one that presents this argument of you need money to survive that's starving, housed, all this other stuff. They're trying to go extra next level. And once again, that's not raising a child. A child is an interactive sport. So if I'm always working overtime, if I'm always doing things that's to secure this bag for us, let's just say I'm that dude. Let's say I'm a simp and I bought into this. How does this look? Let's play this out. I've decided, yes, I'm going to take care of everything. You don't have to spend nothing on nothing as far as that's coming out of yours. It's all me. I got us. So then I sponsor you. But in order to sponsor you, it's got to be coming from somewhere. Even the dope boys is working 15, 16 in the evening. It's just third shift. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know what I'm saying? 24/7. That's my shit.
Sundown.
Up to sundown.
So it can't be sundown to sunrise?
Yeah, I think she just wants you out there. I think she just wants you out there bringing it back. She's pimping. She wants you out there bringing it back.
Killing without killing. Wanting me out there is out there.
Right.
Ain't helping you with no motherfucking chores.
That's right. It comes with absolutely.
Does that include this damn honeydew list? Does that include the fucking yard cut? Does that include that other stuff? That still causes the bead of sweat.
Absolutely. Well, the issue is this. If I remember I was talking to a girl one time, and she said that one of her dreams, desire, we were talking about, if you could have everything the way you want it, what you want. And she said, I would want a chef. All right, cool. That let me know what time it was for her. She would want a chef, and then she didn't necessarily say she would want a maid, but she would want somebody to come and help out. Everything was somebody to help out. Now think about this. I'm young. We don't have houses or nothing. We apartment living and have car notes. When you say somebody come in and help out, you baking that into a situation where you haven't even felt the stress of home ownership. You haven't felt the stress of having 3, 4 kids that you got to take to soccer and showbiz, pizza, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You're already telling yourself you're not enough, which actually was telling me you're right.
What if she just recognized her deficiency?
That she wasn't enough for me. You're correct. Yeah, we say the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
Wait, this is not the 80-20 rule? Like you wouldn't take a woman who had everything except she couldn't cook?
I would, but it wasn't that she wanted help out. Here's the deal. She not only wanted a chef, and I'm assuming this woman's probably the same way. This dude should be sponsoring her chef, her maid, her Uber driver or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He should be sponsoring these things with his bread, with the bag that he's bringing in, because he's going all in and giving her 100%, right? But at that point in time, because he's sponsoring all those things, she's saying to herself, I now have time to cater to him when he's not there or he's asleep. What is we talking about? The math is bad. It's flawed mathematics.
It's a difference between catering to me, catering to the relationship. I don't think people understand that. Things that you can do for the family, not me directly, but if we got a kid, splitting the drop off and pick up, that is catering to the family and it's beneficial to the relationship. It's not directly to me. Like, don't say, you better be glad I picked her up. You in this family too.
Right. But I think that what has happened is there's been a connotation that the exhausted man is a better man. The exhausted man, the man that come home tired and, man, they took me out to the woods the other day at the job. He's a better man because of his exhaustion. That is absolutely incorrect. He's just not smart about this. He's not approaching this the right way because he should be finding avenues to alleviate some of that exhaustion. You're not giving him enough wind beneath his wings to be better because you're allowing for him to go out and run himself into the ground for the sake of you not wanting to pick up and do. You not wanting to put in on. Do you know how much easier it is if y'all needed $50,000 and it all had to come from him, he got to do $50,000 worth of toil, worth of work to get it. But if you say, and like you said, the 80-20 rule, if you say, I'm going to figure out how to do $1,000 worth or $10,000 worth, it's not 100% on him. This 50-50, she's making it financial, but it's all encompassing in a shared partnership. There is no business, and the business of your heart is the greatest business you'll ever be involved in. There's no business where you have partners in the business where one person does all the work.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Partners in the business where one person just is the money part, just gets all the money. That doesn't even make sense.
That's not what you want. Men have estrogen, right?
Right, absolutely.
You don't want 100% testosterone. Trust me, you don't. Unless you built a Teflon.
Absolutely.
That's not what you want.
Absolutely.
If you like, what if he's 75% of the man, according to you? That's enough.
I think what is overlooked in this situation is the case of, eating from the tree of wanting too much. And the idea that there are women that do require a man to handle 100% of the stuff and things to be 100% provider. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's providing protection, that's providing financial security, that's providing, but then they're playing their role in that as that woman. That's a kept woman. That's a in the house, putting the towel over her knees when she sit down out kind of woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to be both. You want to be vocal and voiceful and a boss chick and pimp this dude to giving his all to the situation. You got to pick a lane. I'm not saying that these relationships don't exist and they don't work for sister wives work for some people. Neil got 4 girlfriends after having 2 wives. He had to figure out on this wifing thing was not what I was on because I was on this hoeing thing. So he had to get women that were willing to sign up for the sister wives. The reality of it is making blanket statements in a position of power is absolutely irresponsible. Another thing is diminishing what a man is based on your definition of what a man should be and using the good Lord, the scripture. That's what, if she had said, my opinion of a good man is this, that, and the third, I would have said, cool, that's her opinion. This is America, congratulations.
Yeah.
But when she said, the good Lord said in the scripture, it was written that this is what makes a good man and this is what makes a good woman, she was dead wrong. And that's what we hear to,
So let's touch
spit.
on this too, because the men are physically the stronger.
Yeah. Built that way. Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Her telling men that they couldn't handle the menstrual cycles. What the fuck?
That was crazy. That was crazy.
How can you just say that when they are clearly the stronger gender?
I think another thing, once again, we can go back to the math. And just from a sociological perspective, women outnumber men worldwide. That's number one.
Mhm.
In the United States, women have more degrees from universities than men do. Why would there be more women that are more highly educated if they wasn't doing nothing with it? If it wasn't required. This doesn't even make sense what you're saying from the math. From the math, women have a stake in the success of the nation, the home, and everything else. You're relegating women to a lesser position by saying that he can have the pesos and the say-sos. And you gotta, because you got this burden that you have, because she's not even accounting for a younger woman or an older woman when you can't have menstrual cycles and you can't bear children. So basically, she's talking about good years. She's talking about a window of childbearing, wide hip years where you're a woman and you need a man. And then, because if that's the case, he needs to discard you once you've been used up at that point, because according to her, that's your womanly years.
Get a younger woman.
And get it, you got to re-up.
Period.
Absolutely. Because men can have children till they 60. Al Pacino just had a baby. Like, moms can, yes, moms can have babies. You know what I'm saying? So in the, I just thought that a lot of things that she was saying wasn't thinking of the totality of all the things that was coming out of her mouth. But the most important part of it was she used the Holy Bible as a baseline. That people are not saying that as much. That's what was irresponsible, and she should get her. You know, you can get your they could take the bar could take your legal license. Yeah, they need to go shut that church down. They need to board that church up.
But that's a collect call from this preachers be like, hello God.
Yeah.
I get the preach. You get a call from God, man. 5G.
Man, but a lot of people, 6G, right? A lot of people faking them calls, man. You gotta. I need the call log. I need to look at the log.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I need to look at the log. But if people want to follow that, that's God bless them for following it. But don't use that. Don't use that.
We have ignorant people in the world. That's irresponsible.
Yeah, it's bad shepherding. Bad shepherding.
What's your final thoughts on this? Pastor of this fine congregation of this unnamed church.
I think that, one of the things that if she's doing this to be sensational and to be entertaining, congratulations, that was achieved. it obviously has caught attention and eyes. Sometimes people do reverse psychology. They think they're doing reverse psychology. So they come and they say something to spark the conversation. And then they come back when it goes and people come against them with vitriol. I was doing it to show you the flaws in that type of thinking. That's not how you teach, though. That is not from a position of a preacher, teacher, pastor, minister. That's not how you teach, by hoping that they get your sarcasm. You don't want to teach through sarcasm. So if that's what she thought she was doing, she needs to issue a public apology, a religious apology to everyone. The other thing is, if that's what she believes in, she needs to start providing the people who follow that thought or were inspired by that a playbook. How does that work, and what type of man absorbs and appreciates that? But I could tell you, as the coalition of good fellas, we don't fuck with that. We do not at all. It's, you got to do something. As you said in your definition of help. Help me. Hey, can you help me put my TV up? And then I come over there and you sit on the couch and stupid advise. That's not me helping you. As you said with loaning money. Hey, can you help me with this bill? How much you done already put on it? Nothing. Then that's me doing it. So if you want a man to do for you or live your life on your behalf, say that. But you can't have it both ways. The Bible says you can't serve two masters.
Right.
And when you put a dude with 100% responsibilities, he who has the pesos has the say-sos. You've created a master. And I understand having dominion over your castle and having that type of say-so in your home. But when you have a great, strong relationship, it becomes a democracy where the woman is the neck, the man is the head. That works in conjunction to make sure we're headed in the right direction. She's not doing that. And that's a recipe for disaster. That's my point on that.
Yeah, I thought it's irresponsible. I think when people are listening to anybody talk, even if it's with conviction, passion, or whatever, remember the dictionary. You can't redefine what a man is. You can't redefine what 50-50 partnership is. You can't redefine what the text say in the Bible. It don't say men can't handle that. It don't say that. Like it don't say none of that stuff. So without actually pinpointing in the scriptures, and people just want to say what they think. And so saying things, that's one thing. And then you don't see her husband nodding like this.
Yes.
That's actions, and you don't see that either.
Yeah.
Take note. Like I would say, be cautious and take note over these speakers who are speaking to you, taking your money, their orange pants, silk pants.
Let me say this before we leave out, though. I apologize to our listeners. I have not done the research as to whether a man or a woman invented the epidural. But for a woman to say that a man can't handle childbirthing and an epidural was invented, and they are being administered at a high rate, if it's a situation where you can get a shot to do it, I think dudes could take shots too. That's all I'm saying.
This concludes another episode of the Hollow Points Podcast, where we act as your therapeutic outlet on topics many think about but are afraid to speak on.
Oh, you're welcome.